Okay. All right. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. First question. When may CP break NLR?
When a government building is being raided, such as the police department, the bank, or city hall.
Correct. Question 2. If you are wanted, can the CP re-want you for the same reason after your want is over?
No.
Correct. Question 3. Can the mayor accept stolen items to return them to their rightful owner?
If they're corrupt, if I'm not mistaken.
If it's obviously if it's a non-illegal item, then the mayor is allowed to take it and give it to the correct owner, such as a car, etc.
But if it's an illegal item, they have to be corrupt, correct?
Well, I mean, yeah, if they're corrupt, they can like take printers and use them for their own use. But yeah, yeah, they can give them back, I would assume. So yeah, corrupt, yeah. Question 4. Default laws. Rule 5 states that counterfeiting machines are legal when regulated by the CP. Is this correct or not?
Wait, Rule 5 regulates that printers.
On the default laws, Rule 5 regulates that that counterfeiting machines are legal when regulated by CP. Is this correct or no?
Incorrect.
That is correct. CP counterfeiting machines are always illegal, no matter what. Number 5. If you are a moderator and your fellow mod is abusing, what should you do?
Report it to an admin or super admin.
Correct. You could get them on, or you could go onto the forums.
Okay.
All right. Question 6. Explain metagaming to me.
Metagaming is pretty much any type of information gained outside of the game. For example, Nikki, sorry, my daughter. For example, using TeamSpeak or PMing someone of concerning like an incident that happened. Like, let's say, hey, Redberry just killed me, but Redberry is already dead. You can't be giving out that information.
Correct. And is OOC for in character or out of character play?
Out of character.
Thank you. Okay. Correct. So yeah. All right. Question 7. Corrupt CP are allowed to help criminals directly, yes or no?
No.
Correct. Question 8. While in an admin sit, the accused RDMer starts to cuss you out and be disrespectful, what should you do?
I would give them opportunity to listen and be quiet, and if not, I'll give them a default punishment.
Which would be what?
Well, I'm not sure what your punishment guidelines are, but if they're not quiet, I would gag him at first and explain to him.
Okay, so the punishment guidelines are in the form. I'll send them to you in a second, but basically, yeah, I would suggest you give them a warning depending on the severity of what they're doing. If they're being disrespectful, you can warn them for disrespect and continue on with the admin sit. And yes, it is necessary to gag them if you think that's necessary. So I'll say it's correct.
Okay.
Question 9. When can you block cameras? When can't you block cameras?
Well, if someone is putting a camera on, for example, your base, I'm assuming you can block it, of course, because they're not authorized to put a camera on any place besides their own property.
All right, let me rephrase the question. There is a specific time when you are allowed to block cameras. There's a specific thing you can do to block cameras. Do you know what that is?
The only circumstance that I can think of would be during a raid.
Incorrect. You are allowed to block cameras with entities, but you are not allowed to block them with your own props or props in general. So
Okay.
that's a trickier one. Question 9, question 10. What door of a building do you have to own the whole base?
The first door, the front door.
Correct. Here's the form. Well, I'll give that to you after, actually. Oh, shit. Never mind. Just ignore that.
Okay.
Question 11. How do you define a one-way prop? Are they or aren't they allowed?
First, they're not allowed. A one-way prop would be a prop in which you can see let's call them an enemy or a player,
Correct.
but they can't see you.
Correct. They are not allowed on the server, obviously, and if you see such, bring them over and have them remove it, or call another admin if they're not listening. Alright, question 12. Can you hide your buttons or keypads from plain sight?
No.
Correct. They have to be visible view, even though you don't technically have to use them during a raid. It's considered fail RP or feigning door abuse because technically you're supposed to put in the keypad every time to go in and out, as to prevent somebody that may be following you from not being able to slip inside your base during the at least 5 seconds that you have to have the keypad active. Question 13. When are you allowed to use no clip?
Well, I'm assuming as an enforcer, it would be the only thing I can think of would be if someone's reporting a player for, something illegal in the base, against the rules illegal, not illegal. You can use no clip to go check it out.
Right. So with no clip, you're allowed to use it if you're quote unquote spectating, if you're moderating the players in any non-RP situation. So unless you're thinking that you're going to be RPing, you're allowed to use no clip. So if you just want to moderate, you can, no clip up to a building and sit there and wait for admin sits.
Okay.
Question 14. Someone leaves the server before an admin sit or leaves during an admin sit, what should you do?
They would get a warning for leaving admin sit or banned, because I've seen bans as well.
Before I say this, before we go on, sorry for interrupting. The whole, no clipping around and stuff and spectating people, I will have to say don't abuse that, because a lot of people get annoyed when you spectate them, and they're also fellow staff, and you're. I'll give an example. Barry Lemonade, likes to do that to certain people, and they get really annoyed. And
I would just suggest, if you're only planning on moderating, you can, use it during your mods and not worry about, just as long as you're not RPing with it, but don't use it to obviously bug people or get somewhere quickly.
I made that pretty obvious. When he watches this video, he'll know who I'm talking about.
Yeah. Okay. So for when somebody leaves the server, the proper course of action, if you're in an admin sit, like I said, or they've broken a rule and they left, the proper punishment would be a 2-day ban, and we have a system set up so you can either get their Steam ID out of console, or we have an actual thing that you will probably see how to use that will grab your Steam ID for them, or grab their Steam ID for you. So it will be a 2-day ban though.
Okay.
Alright, question 15. While raiding a base, someone yells, "Don't kill me, I'm not a threat." Are you still allowed to kill them, yes or no?
No.
Correct. If you're raiding a base and somebody says they're not a threat, you're obviously not allowed to kill them. Alright, this completes the end of the quiz. The only thing I would suggest to you, you did good overall, but I would suggest that you go over the link that I sent you, and you'll learn as time goes on, but that would be the punishment guidelines for when you first start enforcing rules.
Okay.
This has been Malyki's enforcer for DarkRP recording. Hey Tech.